Welcome everyone. We'll be going live with the webinar in 4 minutes. Hello and welcome to this Smartspec Tips and Tricks webinar. My name is Theo. I'm here today joined by Rob. Rob, how you going?
I'm great, thank
Very
you.
good, very good, very good. In case you don't know, myself and Rob are part of the support team here at Smartspec. When you dial in or send an email to us, we are likely the ones that pick up the phone or answer the email. So you can now put a face to a name. A little bit of cleaning up at the very beginning. This is a live webinar. If things turn off and the webinar is cut short, it's because technical issues can occur. But fingers crossed, everything's fine. We have screens all around us that are showing us live chat, Q&A, all of that kind of thing. So you may see us sort of look off screen and react to things around us. Don't be alarmed. Speaking of which, there is a live Q&A form above the chat, and you can use that to submit an anonymous question, or you can message us in live chat as well to the right of the video if you're not in full screen mode. Also, we have a little help guides at the very bottom of this website that'll show you how to view this webinar and troubleshoot things if your experience is less than optimal. So feel free to go and look at those. And that kind of brings us to our list of topics today. What are we covering, Rob?
Right, well, first, thank you for coming along. So we're going to try and cover about 5 or 6 topics today. Primarily and leading will be how to create and manage project templates and how to create and manage specification templates. Followed by, looking at notes, how to use the new and improved search function, how to manage your compliance documents using the appendix section, how to edit your projects for export to PDF, so including things like changing the sections, and how to manage multiple users. And yeah, that's what we're going to try and cover today. So
gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're kicking us right off.
Straight into that, I'm going to cover the project templates. So, project templates.
Let me jump over into our live preview here, just a second.
Cool. As you can see here, I am currently logged into Smartspec as my user, and we're going to talk about project templates. So, project templates are basically a great way for you to quickly recreate a project filled with your favorite products, specifications, any kind of custom specs you might have added to a project. You can then take that project and convert it into a template for regular reuse. Another alternative is that you can create a template containing multiple variants of similar products. So you could have, say, 6 roofing specifications in one project template, allowing you to have a template there ready to suit any need. You could just cut out the roofing specs that you don't need on a project by project basis. That being said, let's launch into creating a template. So in order to create a project template, you first need to have a project created. In our case, we're going to go straight to webinar test 2. And you can see here in webinar test 2 that I already have 4 product specifications added to this. And I can just click up here to project actions and navigate down to create project template. And before I click that button, I'd just like to point out that there is a difference between a duplicate project and a project template. A template is designed for regular reuse, and as such, we here at Smartspec will keep the template up to date with changes in standards, whereas a duplicate project is a snapshot of a project at that point in time. So when you go to duplicate an old project, it will bring through old appendix documents, old links, and old compliance documents. So if you wish for your project to be up to date, I suggest making a template out of it. Anyway, let's click create project template. I'll call it number 3 because I'm sure I've done the other one already. Add project template. And I can then navigate to the template immediately by clicking here, or I can go up to the top section where the templates are housed and go to my project templates. And here you can see all of the existing templates I currently have in this in my account, including a quick count of how many specs are in each one, and I could also delete them if I choose. So the one I've just created here, webinar test 3, and jump in and see that the 4 products that I already had against that project have carried through to the template, and then I can then create a new project from this. And now I'm not going to go through and fill in all these details because it'll be boring for you and for me. But
it's definitely very useful. Being able to see all of the products that you've added to a particular template and preview it before you create a project out of that template is very, very handy.
Absolutely. And as mentioned before, if you wanted to create a template that contains multiple versions of similar specs, for instance, this multiple roofing specs templates, you can see here that I have 5 different types of roofing in this one template. And when I go to create a project from it, I can then delete the ones I don't need on a project by project basis. Back to templates, and that's actually really all I've got to say about project templates.
Yeah,
there's not really much more to add.
Covers off project templates. Very, very quick and easy way to access your favorite specifications and build similar specifications that you're working on.
Absolutely.
And that brings us full circle around to specification templates.
Specification templates, and I'm not going to keep talking about it because that's Theo's turn.
I'm going to keep talking this time. It's mine. Specification templates work in very, very similar ways to project templates, but instead of being for projects, it's for products. The product specifications that you use in your projects. To create, benefits at the very, very get-go of this. So product specification templates are useful for a variety of reasons, but essentially what they do is allow you to completely customize your own version of a product specification. And you can use it either by grabbing an existing product specification that's on Smartspec and modifying it and then saving it as a new name, or you can completely create one from scratch.
Absolutely. If you happen to get a specification direct from a manufacturer or from another specification platform, you can then copy that specification in as a template for regular reuse.
Yeah, simply copy and paste all that information into different clauses. So we're going to show you how to build one from the get-go and then show you how to create one from an existing template. So if I go to the template menu option at the very top of the screen and go to specification templates, I can see all the specification templates I've already built, and I can actually choose to either create a specification template from scratch or create a specification template from existing. So if I choose from existing, I can actually select a particular trade section and then search for a particular brand that I want to duplicate, and then select the actual specification itself that I want to duplicate and start editing. And I can call this absolutely anything. Rob's going to help me out here and go Fairview template. I'm going to create that specification, and now, as you can see, we have Fairview template right here in our specification template section. Once that's created, I can click into it and I can actually start editing and moving around information within that specification. So, for example, I may not actually want any of this information here. I might just want one single option inside scope because I know that's the only one I ever click. In that case, it makes completing your specification quicker. If you use this, if you use Fairview products often, you can then do this and make it quicker. You can also actually reorder the clauses if you want to make that look slightly different and get information quicker or in different ways. So now that I've built this specification template and it's sitting in aluminium and joinery, we're actually able to go to a project and add that template.
We absolutely are, and we're going to cover that afterwards. Are you going to create one of these from scratch?
We absolutely can create one from scratch. The process is completely identical, except instead of having clauses and information available at the ready, we're going to click New Specification Template and then just simply give it a name, New Spec Template name, Scratch Template.
Very exciting.
And we're going to select a trade section that it belongs in. We're going to stick it in gas for now, create specification, and it immediately sends us to the template and tells us to add a clause section. Once we've added that clause section, we can actually start adding our options here. We can give them titles, we can give them descriptions, we can add links, we can do all that kind of stuff. And once we save it, it's actually completely already saved. After you click that save button, everything is ready to use, ready to access. So should we go ahead and add that to a project, Rob?
We certainly can. So that kind of segues nicely into our second or third section for discussion today, and that is the changes to the search functionality in Smartspec and why we did it and how you go about using it.
Yeah.
So we want to just quickly jump into one of our projects, and we want to go to project actions, and we're going to add a specification here. So a lot of you will have noticed the change to the search function, and we've had lots of feedback about it. The primary driver for this change was to allow users to select multiple products at once and add them all in one go. Particularly useful if you're building specs with more than 2 or 3 products at a time. Otherwise, the old system was quite slow in that you had to add product by product, and you would have to drill down to those products each time. So that is the main reason for this. So if you're having trouble using this, we're just going to quickly cover some kind of help guide tips on this. The search function will search across the manufacturer name, the specification name, and also the details within the specification. So I could search for the product name that isn't necessarily available as a spec title, and it will still return the relevant sections. I can automatically filter the list below by drilling down into just say carpentry and only displaying carpentry specs. And I can also type search into here and bring up my templates.
I'm not sure we have. Oh, we do have one in carpentry. All right,
the one that we just
built
built
from scratch.
Yeah,
well done.
And we can tick that and add that to our project.
Okay.
Back to filter by trade section. You'll see then here's all the templates I have added. Another question we get a lot is where can I find the generic specs again? And again, that is simply a matter of typing generic into the search bar and bringing up all of the generic specs. I'll quickly just add multiple here, since that's the point of this search change, and add these specifications.
And similarly, if you want to explore new ranges of products or see what we have available, you can scroll down that list, and your template specifications and generic specifications will be in that list, scrolling down to actually view all the specifications available in Smartspec.
There you go. You'll find them just in this list here. Yeah. So there's all the generic in alphabetical order, and eventually we get down to templates. So I've gone past it.
We probably have.
Yeah.
Gone past
Never
it.
mind.
Keep scrolling very fast. Sorry about that.
And I think that covers the changes to search, and that leads us into how to manage your compliance documents and your appendices.
Yes.
And that goes over to you.
It goes over to me. Appendix documents are incredibly useful at reducing RFIs. Here's where you can actually add a lot of extra information that you may not find in Smartspec, or particularly extra information that changes that manufacturers come out with.
Such as producer statements, warranties.
Installation manuals
yeah.
is a big one. So how you do that, I've gone back to my project dashboard and I've clicked on the project appendix section at the very bottom. We can actually see that from the specifications that we added earlier, there is one specification here that already had a brands document attached to it as part of Smartspec, and that has come up, and I've been able to tick and untick that to include it or not include it in my specification. But if I want to add a specific document, I go on over, I'm going to get rid of the old Theo's piles. That was from an old test. We've been practicing as much as we possibly can. To add your own document, you can actually drop down and select one of the trade sections that has been added to your project so far. For example, blockwork. I'm going to go blockwork, and then I can select the specification inside blockwork that already exists there. I can enter a display name. This is what it's going to come up as when it's described in your finished documentation. We're going to call it warranty for now.
Warranty and warranty. Yep.
Warranty and warranty is the display names. and I've automatically ticked it to include itself in the specification when I add it, and then I simply click choose file. Navigate over to the file that I want to add, appendix documents for Smartspec webinar. So this is just looking at your computer and showing your files and file structure. And in this case, we added a warranty. So I'm going to select the file that contains the warranty for the product I'm specifying. Click the open button, and then click the add document button. And that is going to upload that warranty document and then add it into my appendix. And I can then tick it and untick it at will for export. So we can see it's showed up here, warranty, attached to concrete blockwork, add blockwork. And then we can actually choose whether or not to include it in the finished specification. And we can actually reorder the order at which these appendix documents appear. So you can push more important ones to the top of the list. That'll show up sooner for council to read. And in this way, yes, you can just add a lot of greater detail to your project specification in order for it to get less RFIs and go through council a lot quicker.
Cool. Thanks, Theo. And I think that covers that as well. And the last two sections we were going to talk about are how to manage multiple users and how to edit the finished project specification for export. And those are both found up here under the settings tab.
While Rob navigates to that, I'm just going to mention we do see a couple of questions coming through in the chat. We're going to get to that very soon in our live Q&A, but we do see them and we have some answers for those.
Yep. Yes, we do. Cool. So first up is users. Users can be found here under the tab right there, and you can add multiple users to your Smartspec account, provided you're on the Pro or Enterprise plan and up. And obviously the obvious advantage is to be able to share access with people within your company. But an additional way that it could be used is by inviting in a key stakeholder that you might be working on a project with, adding it to Smartspec to allow them to view the specification in situ as it is, and then removing them as a user once that project is finished. Perhaps you'd want to invite your engineer in to look through the specs before it's completed, or a lighting engineer or any other key stakeholder. So,
and we actually have a way of tracking who's doing what in the system as well, which is very useful when you're working collaboratively and seeing what people do. So if you're in a project specification and you're just on the main dashboard, at the very bottom of the screen it's going to show you who's been editing what most recently. So Rob's just navigated over that to me. To that.
So if you were to invite someone else in, you can see if they have modified anything, also if they have added anything.
Keep people accountable, really. Yeah.
Right, back to settings. Anyway, back to users. And obviously the invite user button will send an invite out to a new user. Throw Theo in here. Spell our own company name correctly and invite him in.
And this will give you messages if you don't have enough user slots remaining, and then you can remove someone and re-add someone.
Alternatively, additionally, if someone already has an account, you'll get a warning that they're already a user of Smartspec. And you'll see here that both Theo and my brother, who won't be joining us here, are pending as Smartspec users, and once he's clicked the link in the email he received, he can be added to this account, and you can also remove users when they're no longer relevant.
Mm-hmm. Note that when you add the user as well, they won't have the ability to modify your account. They'll just be able to see the specifications and modify your project specifications. But your account settings will be safe as the owner. And also only the owner can do this to the account.
Cool. Yeah. So still within the settings,
very cool.
We're moving on from users to editing the project template for export, and that is you, Theo.
Yes, so there are a variety of ways that you can make your finished PDF look slightly different in order to cater to your particular project-specific needs. And these are actually all found in the settings on the left-hand side, conveniently where we are on screen right now. So you've got document fonts, document header.
Your mouse is over there.
Yeah, no, I found it. Got several screens going on. Document fonts, document header and footer, and document organization logo. So document fonts gives you 5 options of what you'd like your font to be. Sorry, 4. Also select font as an option. Probably defaults. And so you can change which font you're using at the time and also change how large that default font is. From there, I'll just click save on there. That'll change the look of our finished specification. From there, we can also change the document header and footer. This is the element that'll appear at the top and the bottom of every page of your specification document. And you can actually select where the date goes. If the project title is displayed, you can leave it as completely blank. We've also added a custom label here called Dio's face, because my face is at the head and center of everything. Thank you for that, Rob. In the footer as well, you can actually change as well the exact same kind of information, or you can add a custom label.
Custom labels are purely text, so whatever you type here is going to be what displays. It's not going to pull through any information from any other part of the platform. So
yeah,
whatever custom label you want, you can add it in.
That'll help you kind of brand it or do something different in that sense. And once you have a custom label, you can select it from within this drop down, for example, Dio's face. And that brings us on to the document organizational logo. So in our case, this is the Construction Marketing Services logo, which is one of our parent brands. And do note that the suggested logo is 250 pixels by 70 pixels in size, and this is in order to keep the PDF all in kind of a very nice shape. If you upload a logo that is very, very tall, very vertically tall, it will push content down to the next page. And to fix that, you just need to edit that image and add some padding on the left and right of it and make that image smaller so that it will fit within that container. So if you see content being pushed down onto the second page from your home page, that's what's happened. You just need to edit whatever logo that you've updated.
Excellent. Oh, well, I think that's kind of covered everything we had planned to talk about today.
That covers the major tips and tricks for this webinar. So actually, we have a few things to mention here that we'll just go into. We actually have 2 new updates to the Smartspec platform that we'd like to mention. We have My Projects, which is an incredibly neat tool that connects Smartspec and our sister company Product Spec together, where you can upload your files for a particular project and kind of manage your files, share them around, that sort of thing. It's just a great way to share all of your project files and manage them and organize them. Keep them on the cloud where they're nice, safe and secure, and you can't delete them by accident, all that good stuff.
Yep, and the other one is obviously Keynoting, which we released back in April. Keynoting plugin is for ArchiCAD only at the moment. And that allows you to use Keynote functionality between Smartspec and ArchiCAD. We will be doing a Keynoting webinar at some point in the future, but dates are to be confirmed.
Thank you, Rob. Now that will bring us on to Q&A. So I'm just going to jump back over here so that you can see us and have a little chat. I think we'll start. There's some good questions in that live chat, so we're just going to cover some of those off.
And just to mention, if we don't get to your questions, feel free to submit them via the support options on the Smartspec platform, and we'll try and get to them later today.
That's the one.
So, first question up is, can I request features to add to Smartspec? And the answer to that is yes. You absolutely can. Yes. There is a contact manufacturer button to be found
inside specifications.
Thank you.
Yep. And in that way you can request information from manufacturers or update the specifications
on the
from
add specification page.
Or similarly, you can get directly in touch with us, support@smartspec.co.nz, and we'll receive the reply and add that to our development dashboard as a way of tracking what developments are happening at any given time. There's a lot of ways that we want to add to Smartspec to make it bigger and better every single month. And for that, keep an eye out for regular communications inside Smartspec and in your emails as well. We have one in the chat there. When I have created a template in the past, when it does bring the products through, it has unticked these selections. There's a few reasons why we do this. But the main one is, for every project that you create, we encourage that everybody checks the information that they've pulled through before they submit to council. So in that way, and also because it pulls in fresh, updated specifications, in that way we make sure that the specifications you've selected are up to date, and we make sure that you've read and understood and edited all the information that you're working with to make sure that it's project specific. So it's very intentional that we untick everything when you create from a project template.
Thank you, Theo. Next is there any update on the appendix documents being added automatically like the brand's appraisals are? So yes, there is. We currently have a piece of development in place which will allow us to identify and upload multiple non-brand compliance documents. We already do include certificate of conformities, but they are identified as brands documents by the icon. But the development will allow us to basically add anything we want. So we could add warranties, we could add installation guides, we could add certificate of compliance. But as I say, it is currently in the development pipeline, probably in the next few months worth of development batches.
It will also, while it's a very, very good thing to do, it will add a lot of layers of complexity to keeping all of these documents up to date more regularly. And we are constantly working with our manufacturers to help them keep their specifications continually up to date. So do watch out for new documents coming out, becoming available. And as always, let us know if anything is looking funny or out of date or missing some information that you think should be there. We're always open to getting that feedback and looking to implement it as soon as possible.
Yes.
We have some questions coming through on the anonymous Q&A panel as well. So we'll give that page a little refresh actually to see if there's anything new.
So we have one here that says, I often need to talk to manufacturers. It's not quite the same as requesting a product, but just to make sure I'm specifying them correctly, is this easy to do on Smartspec? And again, yes, that is doable, and that is actually from within the...
Should I bring that up?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I can bring that up if we just want to show where that button is.
Certainly. So I've lost the mouse again. Go over here.
There we are.
If I open up the webinar, open up one of specifications, you'll see this nice little contact manufacturer button underneath the clauses within your product specification.
So if you notice a product has been updated recently, but the specification hasn't been updated, you can use that button to request more information.
And that will flick an email directly to the technical contact that we have on record for those manufacturers. It doesn't actually come to us, it will go directly to the manufacturer. Cool, and we're back to us.
Back to us. Hello.
Cool. So there's another question it's another question that can be answered by it's in development, and that is, why do you not enable export as a Word document? And again, that is one of those, we would love to have that as a feature, and it is currently sitting in our development pipeline.
Yeah.
And
we have that one at the very bottom of live chat at the moment. When will we see keynotes for Revit? This is definitely something that we want to do, and we want to honour Revit users. It's been a long road trying to find a partner to do that sort of thing, and just know that it is on our development dashboard, and it is something that we want to do, bringing keynotes for Revit.
ArchiCAD was definitely the first, but Revit will be the next.
And that kind of brings us to
I think that's all of our Q&A, yes.
Yeah, we've hit that half an hour mark now, and it's kind of all we have time for. If you do have any additional questions though, you can reach out to us, call us on 098693998.
Yes.
Or you can email us at smartspec support at smartspec.co.nz. Before we go though, we do want to mention that there is another webinar coming up that we're doing with the Auckland City Council. That webinar is Mastering the Building Consent Process, and it will take place on Tuesday, the 21st of July, going live right here on smartspec.co.nz at 10 a.m.
Yep.
and we'll be joined by several members from Auckland City Council to discuss going through the building consent process, help reduce RFIs, do all of that good stuff.
How to submit properly to council. What they
Make
expect
the
from you.
as quick and smooth as possible.
And I know we were meant to finish with that slide. I just want to quickly chime in here because I can see that there's a lot of people who have checked into this webinar after the 11 a.m. start time. So just to let you know that this webinar will be available to view after the fact.
It will. It will. And we'll be in touch about that recording. But with all that said and done, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us on this webinar. These webinars are very new to us. We're very excited about the opportunities to be able to talk directly to you and host these informational webinars.
Delighted.
Just trying to find more ways to become more easily accessible so that you can get your very urgent questions to us and know that we are here to help. Yeah. Kind of brings us to it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Have a lovely day, and we'll catch you at the next webinar.